Guidelines in answering your activity. Lesson 2, Convention in citing sources. Before we start, remember that all the activities in the module and in the EAs will be answered on a piece of paper, not in the notebook. Let us begin with the module on pages 12 to 17. For Learning Task 1, you have to put a check if the entry is written correctly and X if not. In the Learning Task 2, write T if you think the statement is true and F if it is false. In the Learning Task 3, this activity will test your background knowledge regarding bibliographical entry. All you have to do is to arrange the following information inside the box. Your Learning Task 1 can be your guide. For the Learning Task 4, it is expected that you already studied the lesson about conventions and citing sources. In this activity, you have to arrange the following entries into correct APA 7th edition format. For the Learning Task 5, you have to go back to your answers in the Learning Task 4. In this part of the activity, you have to arrange the entries alphabetically. Which entry should come first, second, third, and so on. In the Learning Task 6, you have to get a book with a bibliography or references. Then, get at least 5 entries and you write this into APA 7th edition format. Afterwards, arrange them alphabetically. This is an example of a book with references or bibliography. As you can see, they are also arranged in alphabetical order. In the Learning Task 7, you can skip this activity and an alternative activity will be given in the enrichment. In the Learning Task 8, all you have to do is to arrange the following entries into APA 7th edition format. Let us now have the enrichment activity on pages 1 to 5. For the activity number 1, you have to read the literature of Myanmar, then afterwards complete the outline below based on the passage that you read. For the activity number 2, you are going to create your own outline, like what you answered in activity number 1. And this is what an outline looks like. So you have the title, the main idea, and the supporting details. Example, here, I put the title Baking a Cookie. Then the main idea number 1 is the ingredients in baking cookies. Then I gave the supporting details. The same with Roman numeral number 2, the main idea is steps in baking a cookie. Then my supporting details. Now, for the activity number 2, you're going to create your own outline concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. You have to select resources that will give you information about the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, remember that you have to keep these references or sources of information because you are going to use them on the next activity. Activity 3, Part 1, kindly skip this and proceed with the next one. In the Activity 3, Part 2, remember that I told you to keep your references from the activity number 2? This time, arrange these references into correct APA format. Afterwards, if these are more than one reference, arrange them alphabetically and identify if it's a book, magazine, journal, newspaper, or from the World Wide Web. For the reflection part, all you have to do is to select an emoji that explains how you find your enrichment activities, then the 3 things you learned, the 2 things you found interesting, and the 1 question you still have in mind. Thank you!